Okay, we're going to have a special session of public safety and legal affairs. First on the agenda, and I believe the only on the agenda is our public defender. Oh.
Okay, I have just one item. And I'm looking for a motion to approve a local law creating an exception to the residency requirement for assigned counsel managing attorney.
For 18B.
Correct.
Motion,
Second.
motion second, discussion. Hearing none, public safety, roll call vote, please.
Wilbur.
Aye.
Mickle.
Aye.
Powers.
Aye.
Burlingame.
Aye.
Basile. Absent.
Motion carried. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, thank you. I'll
Thank you.
entertain a motion
Thank
for adjournment.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are now adjourned. Thank you.
Good morning, I'll call our August 5th, 2026 Board of Representatives meeting to order. Roll call members.
Frazier,
Here.
Powers,
Here.
Brockway,
Here.
Hinchey,
Here.
Kennedy, here, Mickle, here, Burliant, here, Marietta,
Here.
McCarty,
Here.
Wilbur,
Here.
Mendes, absent, Martini,
Here.
Clapperton,
Here.
Basile, absent.
The Eagle, I invite you to stand for our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time I'd like to invite Representative Marietta up. This is our annual, well, semi-annual, right?
Yes, semi.
Semi-annual, recognition of our employees of the year. I don't know, you?
Sure. Yeah. On behalf of our performance review and goal setting committee, as Chair Frazier had mentioned, we meet twice a year to select our outstanding employee award winners from the many nominations we receive. And so we met recently at our July 28th committee meeting to review the applications that we received. All department heads were invited to, anyone actually, department heads, employees, anyone across the county can nominate anyone for the Outstanding Employee Award. And so this award cycle is for July to December. We always have, tremendous applicants, and just in terms of what that Outstanding Employee Award is focused on, it's really people who exhibit commitment to outstanding service, sustain a high level of productivity, consistent quality of work, and demonstrate a high degree of initiative and have effective working relationships with others. So, we're obviously, the exciting thing is that some of the nominees that we've seen have been nominated time and time again. So, we're excited today to recognize two employees that had been previously nominated and has never received the award. So, first, I think we'll start with Kyle King. And if you could just hold on one second, Kyle, and we'll have you come up. Kyle is with our Planning and Solid Waste Department. He is one of our employees, as I mentioned, that has gone above and beyond and thus was nominated for this award. And so our committee, really, again, we have a number of great applicants and it's always a tough time selecting who is going to receive the award, but we're pleased to first recognize Kyle in his position as Waste Management Recycling Coordinator. He has been with us with Otsego County since March 27, 2023. Kyle embodies the traits that define a highly valued employee. He unfailingly shows dedication to delivering superior service. Beyond his remarkable productivity, Kyle's excellent communication abilities, a tireless work ethic, and a great deal of initiative. He skillfully leverages these talents to benefit clients, customers, and his colleagues as well. And so, Kyle, I'll invite you to come up here and join us. And I'll just say quickly, I'm a frequent flyer at the Northern Transfer Station. So I've seen Kyle, his dedication and commitment to especially our solid waste services. So, Kyle, thank you very much. Yeah, come on over. Thank you. Congratulations. Oh, sorry, Tammy, I wasn't looking.
Okay, look at me now.
All right. I was just gonna say that in addition to the certificate Kyle received, and obviously the honor of being recognized in the outstanding employee award, you'll have a dedicated parking space in the parking lot. Your name will be placed on a plaque that hangs in our entry to the county office building.
Thank you.
So congratulations again.
Thank you.
So we'll move to our second recipient. I will say, I feel like the last couple cycles we've been recognizing more than one because we have such great applicants. So we're happy to recognize the second recipient, and that's Laura Bryant. And so Laura is with our Department of Health. and has been with us as a county employee since April 19th, 1998. She, and just, we obviously get some background on our employees and how long they've been working with us. And so she first started as a cleaner in the county infirmary, then was appointed to a licensed practical nurse in the same department, and then served in that title. We love to kind of talk about titles. I know, Penny, I know you're shaking your head, but yeah, you know the history. So, and then served in that department until November 22nd, 1999, and served in that title until October 14th, 2014. And then when the manor was laid off, when the manor was sold, she was actually laid off. And so, and those, many of us were not on the board, so we don't know that history. But we know the history, but we weren't here through that obviously difficult time of making that decision. But Laura was then appointed as an LPN on October 2nd, 2017 in the Department of Health. And then her position was reclassified in December 2023. And then she was appointed to her current position as a community health worker on December 10th, 2023. So Laura clearly has been with us a long time, knows, has kind of traversed a number of county employee positions and the complexity of our title changes, which, always is great to learn about and understand civil service. And thank God we have our personnel office to help us with that complexity. But Laura's work, and again, really rises above and beyond, and thus we are happy to, recognize her today. Her work exemplifies many of the qualities that make an employee valuable to an employer. She consistently demonstrates a strong commitment to providing outstanding, high-quality service. She's exceptionally productive, has superb communication skills, a tremendous work ethic, and a high degree of initiative. She's very efficient at using these strengths to help clients, customers, and coworkers. And for all those reasons and much more that we could go on and on about, we're recognizing Laura today with the Outstanding Employee Award. So Laura, if you could come on.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. And then of course you have the parking place and recognition on the plan. You don't want to downplay that.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you all. Thank you all. We are now at the point of the meeting where we entertain privilege of the floor. If you'd like to address the board, raise your hand, I'll identify you, come to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Anybody interested in addressing the board today? Quiet. Okay. I need approval of the minutes of July 1st, 2026, which are online.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Presentation of petition, communications, and notices.
I have a United States District Court notice, Marie Duera versus Buffalo Wild Wings, Oneonta, Delaware County Sheriff's Department, Otsego County Sheriff's Department, Fox Hospital, David Buttle, Vinnie Doe, manager of Buffalo Wild Wings, Trajanovich, John. And the cause of action is for false arrest, excessive force, defamation, negligence, and privacy violation. And she's seeking compensation for lost income, pain and suffering, emotional distress, reputation harm, medical expenses, punitive damages where appropriate, and costs and attorney fees. Yes.
Thank you. We have one special presentation today. This time I'll turn the floor over to Tim Donahue. He's going to give us an update on the property that was purchased. And who are you bringing with you?
Thank you.
You're fine. No, it's. How long do I get?
She was after 11 years. Yeah.
We need to get back to the email.
21.
Can you hear me and you read it? Share screen.
Sure, it's good.
Is it? No, for the live stream. You might have to.
Is he want, I mean,
Make it big for them.
what are you looking to do with the Zoom?
Share the screen so people live can see it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, of course, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. All right. All right, good morning, everyone. We got two screens going this morning. Levi's created this interactive map. It sent me all the link yesterday, and he's gonna be flying over the farm, zooming in on all the various you know, buildings and land forming. And you can see in purple there, that's the entire border of the newly acquired property, which is
Interesting.
totals 137 acres and with approximately 114 of open land and 162 acre conservation easement with approximately 194 acres of wetlands. I wanted to start out with a little history because 200 years ago, Otsego County bought this land in 1826 for the county poorhouse. Then it was only 158 acres for $3,000. Fast forward to 1958, poorhouse was replaced and the residents were moved to the newly constructed infirmary, now known as the Meadows. 1959, the board sells the farm. And here we are. So I want to start in the northeast corner of the farm, which I call the White House Farm. This house is situated in the right on County Route 33 in a neighborhood hamlet, and it's approximately 1820s. Post and beam. Balloon construction.
Which building is this?
This is the White House on County Route 33. Just north of the Meadows turn. See on the map there. Comes with a well. It's a renovation that stopped abruptly, but I think when the former owner had died untimely. Pegged rafters, which dates it to the 1820s. They stopped doing this in the 1830s. Staircase is the only original feature inside that remains. And you can see the beams. It is still straight. The bones are still there. You can see the plaster and laths. They used to go right over the planks, but it's studded out for insulation. Now, Foundation's deep and seems to be sturdy. Has an updated 200 amp service. Uh, Well, and it's a total of 3,492 square feet. Fuel tank, there's two of them down there. And then this is the White House cow barn directly behind the house. That's post and beam. It's been abandoned since the mid-60s. I presume it's 102 feet by 40 feet, partially collapsed or condition. So all these measurements are mine, are field measurements, and all these pictures were the week of the that we took possession of it, May 18th. So we've trimmed up some brush since then on the house especially, because it was in the neighborhood. And you can see the barn is in bad condition. That's from inside the barn, looking outside at the Unadilla silo right behind it. A lot of stuff inside. The milk house, the bulk tank was at one point. And the Unadilla silo, which age unknown, but they're part of a disappearing part of our landscape here.
You said the condition of that is pretty good.
Going to be a rare study. Pardon me?
You said, I think you said that condition of that is pretty good.
Yeah, it's
The silo.
fairly good for, you don't see these anymore. And I understand the wood can be repurposed. I mean, the way it's treated.
But this has some historical significance.
Yes, local historical.
Right.
And the house too, because the house is the oldest house in the neighborhood,
Right.
very early.
So
That's a concrete silo behind the Unadilla silo. That's adjacent to a machinery shed. Which that's 103 feet by 41 construction pole, post pole utility. Used to use fall poles for pole barns. Galvanized tin roof, fair condition. And then and on the bluff above the house, little gravel bank in between the house and the pole barn is a grave of a Revolutionary War patriot. Jotham Ames died 1812, age 68 years, and his wife Sarah died 1836, age 88 years. And I'm not sure if there's any more graves up there, but this one was right there, and it's just inside the someone's put a flag on it, taken in May. Presumably they lived in the house, but probably didn't build it. Backside looking out on the which is now cornfield. Moving south, just west of the jail is the scale house and scales. That's a 28 by 8 modular building, power piano, and it's the scales of the gravel pit. has a water hydrant. The office. Scales. Not sure if these could be repurposed.
They removed the scales. They removed the scale. The scales aren't there.
Oh,
They were supposed to remove all their stuff within 30 days, so you must have, it's gone now.
well,
Um,
okay. Crossing the scale is a power pedestal for, it was the trail mobile home that were the housing for the scale attendant. That had power from the scale house. And then across from that, this building was the old poorhouse slaughterhouse. This building was operational when the poorhouse was running. It had a vintage freight wheel inside. Across from that is the machinery shed, which I believe is the newest structure on the farm. Very good condition, 120 by 40, 42, three-phase power service. Power feeds the machine shop, the dirt concrete floor. Highway department's currently utilizing it for storage. The jail in the background. And this is the mechanic shop adjacent to the machinery shop, a 60 by 42, 205,000 square foot, two overhead doors. Currently utilized by building services, has a large electric panel, front bed by the machinery shed, waste oil furnace. It's in good to fair condition. On the corner of the gravel pit road and the county highway 33W is the yellow house. Presumably it's 1920s and 1930s. It was it's the second building that was in place when the poorhouse was operating. Cape design, 42 by 25, 2,100 square feet. It actually has 4 beds and 2 full baths with an attached garage, electric baseboard heat, and an updated electric panel. And it's pretty bad, but it's pretty solid. It was better condition than I thought it would be.
Floors are amazing.
It was used for the migrant workers, just never was the main farmhouse. And next to that, across the road is the well house. Wells on depths unknown has 6 large pressure tanks and a power service inside. The well must have been pretty good to feed that large a dairy. I presume it's 400 head. That's just my estimate. And next to that's power service pole. services the well and the yellow house. Just west of that, follow along in the map too as well, the loading dock shed. Just for some type of loading and unloading, I don't know, animals or machinery, and has a we're having a little bit of glitching here. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. There's a shed in back that was for pigs and fuel tanks. However, I detected no underground fuel tanks on the farm so far. Yeah. Next is the heifer barn. This is at the right at the end of the dead end of 33W. Gable ends for face east and west. It's a huge building, 184 by 82, 1,500 square feet. I believe it was late 60s. Seems a little older than the main barn. Small power service on the side there. Very poor conditions, and it has varying concrete heights. House stanchions, and the tin roof is peeling in places. A lot of these roofs are the aluminum tin, and they wind seem to peel in the metal that we use now, the steel rather. It's the main powerhouse and generator shed. This contains a three-phase service which feeds the entire farm. The switch gear for everything. Feeds everything except the yellow house and the well. Empty generator place inside. They took the generators, no longer there. This building's interesting, but totally abandoned. The methane generator building. It was used to generate the methane for the Meadows boilers in 1986. So there's a pipeline going from this building to the Meadows. Ran the boilers then from the methane. And at some point it was abandoned. There's much abandoned, deteriorated infrastructure in here. Roofs caved in. It's just like they walked away.
Yes.
Yeah. And, this is the methane digester silo sits adjacent to it. I'm not sure how they work, but this was part of the methane system. Roofs, we got a couple of drone shots. The roofs caved in. And adjacent to that's the large slurry tank for the liquid manure. There must be underground infrastructure to this that goes from here to the barn. So there's pumps in the barn and pits that must feed this. I'm not sure. There's 4 foot of something in the tank. The panels are about 4 foot. That's the tree. Terms of the ground. That always did have an opening. There always was open. There never was a roof to it, like the digester next to it.
Is the color of it actually green?
Yeah, that was a recent drone picture took.
So there's something that's.
There's something in
Great.
there.
Could be any number of things. Most of them organic, it's, you know, cooked.
So here we have the center of the farm. The main cow milk house. Estimated to be built in 1969. Main barns 182 by 80. The milk house in front is that really is a separate building, but they're linked together. It's at 60 by 80. And sprawling building. Highways been storing some equipment in it. That's the milking parlor, but without any of the equipment, but just what's just the bones of the milking parlor. Front office, back office. The main milk house has offices, men's and ladies bathrooms. That was the heart of the farm where the bulk tank sat. Front shot of the milk house, bathroom. There's electric panels all through this structure, all fed, but we can control them because they're fed from that switch gear from the powerhouse. We're able to isolate things. You can see sprawling. I believe the sheriff department's got some apparatus stored in the end there. Back the south end. More of the slurry pumps, presumably goes over to that tank somehow. Stanchions, I didn't count the stanchions, but I'm curious. Like I said, the 400 heads, just my estimate. And this also has wings off the side too, so it wasn't even included in my measurements. Square footage, that's the front door. The oil tank inside. And this is the small cow barn, which is catty corner off the southeast corner of the main cow barn. And this is 162 by 49, and roof is lifting on this in various spots. And not much use, has narrow bays and various concrete levels. Very poor condition. Just north of a small cow barn is a coverall building, totally collapsed, tubing with on a concrete pad. Should be able to get some scrap metal out of that. And next is the dry cow barn. This is across from the coverall barn adjacent to the cemetery. 86 by 39. Seems to be in better condition than some. Good dry storage, side panels. Emergency services currently for their apparatus. And we have the tandem harvester silos, which you can see from all views of the farm and the meadows and on the horizon. These will give you, they're right in the center, give you a idea, your bearings. So, there's the American flag, but, and the good news is they're empty. That's great. And then next, across from them is the concrete silo. Another. This is the feed storage. That's the leach bed there. From the concrete bunkers, catches all the any runoff from there and filters it into this, and it's operational now. We've got it on. Highway department is using the bunkers store various materials and plows. So anything that rains in that bunker area is filtered into that beach pit. So they had to put that in for their silage. Like some millings highways got there. And this is our existing county farm well. It's a primary well for the public safety, central kitchen, meadows, and tiny homes. Monitored, checked 365 days a year by licensed operators, and so this we owned since 1896. This well. And it's the better well than the Meadows well, which we're having rehabbed right now. And this is the existing poorhouse cemetery established in 1896. The last poorhouse burial was in 1962. Sits on 0.7 acres. There are 2 veterans on site. Building service has been maintaining this for many years, and the first cemetery was established in 1829 before this one. However, the whereabouts are shot of the cemetery right in the center of the farm almost. And heading back north of the farm, this is our gravel pit, which have great use for. Looking east, you can see this lots of 2 silos of the White House farm on County Road 33. And also want to mention there's the contiguous county properties. So Levi, I'm going to show you on the map. Yeah.
Oh, you want, the,
Oh, yeah, I was going to go. Yeah. Otsego soil.
you got it.
So we have the Otsego soil and water. It's 2.5 acres, and the Otsego County Forestry is 51 acres, both sides of the road. And that wraps around that one residence there. I think he was the forester at one time. That's why it's set up that way. But that connects with the new farm. And then back up to the public safety building and central kitchen is tucked nicely into 8.95 acres. And right next to it's the Meadows Complex with tiny homes and the EMS barn. Situated at 16.42 acres. A lot going on that small amount of land. So. So
Very
that's
nice.
it.
Thank you.
Great job, Tim.
Thank
You
you.
got any questions? Oh, sure.
Can I ask some questions right now?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks. Number one, thanks Levi putting this all together. This was really helpful to get my bearings. I do have a question. The conservation easement land, 160 acres, what type of a conservation easement is that? Is that on the farm acreage, like the crop acres?
Can you, zoom in on that overlay? Levi?
Am I still sharing that? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just,
Yep, I got
the
you.
easement overlay.
Yep.
This has wetlands and as well.
And then,
You should have gotten, Public Works all got thing from Soil and Water, NRCS or whatever, and it actually shows everything on there, what can be done, what can't. I
Okay.
know Public Works was copied on that. I'll dig that out, but all that was delineated from Virginia, Victoria, who's it from Soil and Water?
Victoria. Veronica.
Veronica. No one's gonna be,
He's
Yeah,
new.
remember we talked about that.
but I'll make sure, because I went back and checked, the Public Works was all included on that email.
Okay, so some of the conservation easement overlaps with wetlands.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's
So
Yes,
you can't add those numbers up.
that makes more sense.
yeah.
Okay,
So see, there's your wetland
They
layer.
overlap.
perfect.
Wetlands, floodplains and easement.
I thought it was a separate easement.
No.
But,
And then also, can you zoom in on the county highway department land? What are those buildings back in there? To the east?
Like in here?
Yeah,
I'm not exactly.
oh, they're pole building sheds up there.
But-
Rich stores equipment up there and materials.
okay.
Is that
Weights and
behind
measures
that?
uses it too.
That's up on the hill. You can't
Okay.
see that from the road. 'Cause only thing you can see from the road is there's a like a 4-bay garage and a log cabin.
The garage is right up there,
I think I'm going to.
right by that white building.
Yeah, they used to have, I remember when they sold Christmas trees up there. And I've worked with a gentleman who he said that the county had a charcoal pit and they made their own charcoal and they sold charcoal for revenue. Back then, I'm only hearing this from an individual I worked with years ago. So, we might need some revenue. Charcoal.
Oh, two more really quick ones. I'm sorry, I'm really annoying, but you had the map up. Just really quick. No, Rich wants to put a road in back to the gravel pit. Is it gonna come in by the White House? Are they gonna use that driveway to come in, or is it gonna come in farther north?
I
The
think
one he's proposing.
I would guess it would come in north.
Okay.
The north border, the orange line, that the north border, Levi. All
Wait, you're
the
talking-
way to the north of the farm in the meadow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right there.
that comes up. There's a flag there.
Okay.
All this is flagged and you can see it where it comes out north of that one house. And yeah, it cuts through the middle of that meadow arbitrarily.
Okay, thank you.
It's all planted corn right now. So hopefully this tool's yours to use it in your decision making, public information as well. And if any other departments have a use for this kind of mapping, Levi and the planning department.
Is our land border the river?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
There's Shelman River. There's even one corner in the south that's landlocked by the river between the railroad and the Dreams Park, the river. That's all in the easement.
That's in the
conservation.
conservation easement.
Little we can do with that other than, make, walking trails.
Which is fine.
Just had a meeting with the Danny. Go up there. Yep, it's a good buffer. Okay.
Any more questions, sir? Thank you both. Great job. I'm sure your brains will get picked. Thank you.
It's a great beginning.
I did skip shares.
That was serious motivations coordinating.
There we go, there we go. Sorry.
Because of what
Right, yeah.
Where people are in
your phone. Thank you so much for your.
Okay.
Okay.
Nobody can. So you're gonna.
Before.
So if IT comes up looking for. Right here. I didn't see like.
Yeah.
You got that, didn't you? Thank you very much. Levi stole the name. Just call my stole.
And Lauren.
So we'll move on.
Yeah.
Report to our standing committee. The Public Works, Director Marietta. Carney, sorry. Representative Carney. Oh, boy. Thank you, sir.
We met on July 16th. Kind of a short meeting, the highway and forestry were in, Rich Bremer, Dan Zimmerman, and Christopher. Soil and Water, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his last name. Dan gave a report to Soil Water update on including number two, timber sales completed on 2 county forestry properties. Logging on number 12 behind the cabin at across from Soil and Water. And number 6, lot on Ottaway Road. Looking at another stand on number 6 on Indian Run Road, Indian Run. A brief history concerning trails and forestry. I know there's been some questions about number 6 lot on Ottaway Road. The county forestry did cut that and left a buffer, but the town kind of wanted that buffer out of there because of weather issues and trees coming down on wires, and so they clear cutted that to the line. Rich mentioned that the bids are due back today. Well, today was the day of the meeting. For surveying and raising of 6 forestry properties, 8, 7, 9, 10, 11, and 15. Rich also, in connection with the County Route 20 bridge, culvert, it should be replaced project, requested approval to purchase a portion of real property and 2 temporary easements for Wesley and Sarah Curtis. So we can use the land so we can do the bridge. One purchase price was $82 and the other one was $112. To use the property, we approved that. Tim Dunn was in and gave some budgetary numbers, or gathering budgetary numbers to replace the remaining rooftop units on the public safety building. Noted that the ones that are up there are backdated to 91. Gathering budget number to replace the county office building, loading dock and stairs, crumbling in the back of here. And also waiting for another bid to restore the war memorial down in front of the courthouse. Victor Jones was in to mark the 25th anniversary of 9/11. Victor requested approval to use the county property and grounds most likely the lawn at 197 to coordinate with local departments a 9/11 memorial service on September 11th. We approved that. And we also visited the property issue again for a while and was discussing about a $400,000 bond. But that kind of went to the wayside in admin and meet again on, I didn't write that down. 13th? 13th. At 9 AM. That's it.
Any questions for the chair?
Yeah, so not so much a question. I'm getting a lot of complaints from the Ottawa neighbors, obviously. But not just about the clear cutting, but also about the noise and that the neighbors were not properly alerted. So I'm just wondering, who was supposed to alert the neighbors? Nobody seems to know.
I don't know if the neighbors needed to be alerted. I don't know. I realize,
I mean, I was told.
I know the outfit that did the logging and they do have big equipment and they do work long hours.
Yes, it was like 14 hours. It was very noisy.
They do it at night.
Yeah.
But
So it does look like people were supposed to be alerted, but nobody's been able to tell me who was supposed to do that.
I have no idea.
Is there a way to chase that down? Because I'm a little concerned about Indian Run Road next and having the same set of issues. And then the other thing is that they've been asking about if there will be any replanting, and Rich mentioned there was some extra funds potentially to do some planting.
Did you, have you got a hold of Dan?
I have not heard back.
Okay, well, there was some mention about replanting and some of it was, he was gonna let it come back
I
naturally.
think they're letting it come back now,
Okay. Yeah, it's,
which is supposedly, new to me. Supposedly, that's a recognized,
yes, and I understand that it's creating like microhabitats as it goes.
Right.
They're just, it does look very extreme right now. And people are justifiably frustrated that they weren't properly told what was gonna happen. So I'm wondering who can track down the mechanism for alerting folks to these activities so that we don't repeat this with Indian Run or any of the other.
clear cutting schedule anywhere in the near future.
No. But that, they
So-
didn't, that wasn't scheduled to be clear cut. It was supposed to have been a buffer, but
Right,
the town, is that town of Middlefield?
Yeah.
They complained that was
right.
a hazard and everything else, and they wanted it cut.
Yeah, totally not blaming anybody,
No,
just
no, no,
trying
it's
to
legitimate.
mitigate this for future.
So
In,
maybe we
in
need
our,
a policy on that.
in our
Yes.
RFP for logging, do we request that? Do we state that it's needed? I'm not sure.
I don't.
So I,
My time on the board, I'm not sure that I've heard a complaint regarding noise of logging and alerting the neighbors, but we can look into the RFP, adjust it for any future ones possibly, but this is like the first time I've heard of complaint of noise, whether
so
we've had
the
other
reason I'm
complaints,
thinking-
we've had other complaints about logging,
Yeah.
but not
the
the
reason
noise.
I'm thinking they were supposed to be alerted is that's what Rich told me, was that the immediate neighbors were to have been alerted in advance.
Okay.
So,
I would probably talk to Dan about that, but I don't know.
nobody seems to know, Christoph, nobody seems to know who was supposed to do it.
Well, we'll have to clarify for future
Yeah.
logging.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
legit. Should know, but
If there is a notification that should be made, we need to know who's going to do it, just so
Yeah.
that we can.
I don't know how long that frontage is where we cut down what was supposed to be a buffer. You know, I don't know if it's 100 feet, 1,000 feet or whatever. Perhaps we can plan a buffer of advanced trees.
Possibly.
I mean, it's not gonna solve it immediately, but
Yeah, I think if there's anything we can do, I mean, the pictures, it just looked very extreme.
you know, personally, I've seen clear cutting and I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not
Yeah,
a forester, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, apparently there were power lines and. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions for the chair? Intergovernmental Affairs, Representative Marietta.
What we doing for you?
Best. Thank you, Chairman Fraser. Just a quick recap on them. We all have the minutes, but just to highlight a couple quick things. We, for IGA committee, we met with Otsego Now, IDA Executive Director Jody Zabretsky, and Tammy Harris from Planning joined us as well. And you'll see the direct result of that conversation as a resolution 295. And the main discussion was about the loan position that the IDA had on, the lien position the IDA had regarding Oneonta Theater. And the county actually also has a outstanding loan that Oneonta Theater has in place. So there was a discussion about the lien position with the IDA and Otsego County. So we have a resolution just addressing their request. They are entering into a repayment agreement with Oneonta Theater, and that new agreement would change their lien position. So they just wanted to make sure that everything would stay status quo from a lien perspective. And then we also had a brief discussion about some of the outstanding loans that and they really were kind of was a specialized program the county used to operate and is still in the process of trying to clean up some defaulted loans that are still on our books. So we did have a little brief discussion on that. There's more follow-up that will occur on that in the future. And one specifically is Oneonta Theater. So we're trying to move forward with addressing that. Planning also gave us updates, some various other updates on transfer of a trolley that the county owns that is utilized by the village of Cooperstown, the comp plan grant application that'll be submitted in the near future. And also Tammy talked about Southern TA was awarded an EPA grant for brownfield site assessments, and that will involve some of our brownfields. We also had the county attorney just follow up with us about the county historian position and just finalizing a couple elements around that position. I believe we have at least 2 applicants, and we're going to be following up on that at our IGA committee meeting, which will be held on August 11th at 1 p.m. I think that's it for now.
Thank you. Any questions from the chair?
I do have.
Sir,
On these brown sites, who finds the sites?
Tammy left, but I think they actually put a mapping tool together that I think at some point was going to be shared with us. I think the county basically collects them and then has mapped them out. So people have suggested them, identified them, and planning is kind of creating an assessment
Okay, well, I'll get over it.
or inventory.
I was wondering if the sure catch up in Richfield was on there. That's.
I'm not sure that, Tammy would definitely be able to answer that question. And I do believe there's an overall mapping tool that they created. And so as they learn about new sites, I believe that those are being added.
Yeah, we talked to Trevor. So Trevor led that program with an intern and they created the map.
Yep.
So Trevor's probably the person to talk about the program.
And I don't think they haven't, they were still kind of finalizing the tool hasn't been sent to us quite yet.
Right.
So.
But it exists.
Yes, it is alive.
Yeah.
Just like what we saw today, I think a similar kind of initiative. So similar to what they carried out with the new property. So
Thank you.
Keith, did you want me to follow up with him, or you'll just?
No, I.
Okay.
All
All right.
right, thank you.
We'll ask at our IGA committee meeting the status of that brownfield mapping tool as well.
Thanks.
thank you. Any further questions? Thank you. Human Services, Representative Martini.
Thank you, Chairman Fraser. So we met on July 7th. Just a reminder that any numbers that I give you are from that meeting, which means they're actually reflecting June. For any future. We will be meeting again on August 11th, 9 a.m. First up, it was a super quick meeting. Was Jeanette Pavlis from Community Services. The only resolution to come out of this committee is resolution 296. And it's really just a amendment to a previous resolution. Next up was DSS. All of their budget numbers are tracking as they should. In terms of the department, in June, there were 3 new hires and 3 new vacancies, which is actually the monthly housing stats at the OFO shelter, there was 1 family. Motel 88, there were 23 people in 20 rooms. At Crossroads, there were 19 people in 15 rooms. The budget in Oneana, we were using housing 10 people. Genie's Dreams, 6 people. Budget in Herkimer, 2 people. And in agency housing, there were 9 homes occupied. The OPD stats, there were 12 calls in June, 10 were DSS related, and 3 of those calls were there just to assist DSS. The Department of Health was up next. They are still holding rabies vaccination clinics. There have been, in June, there were 12 animals sent out for rabies testing, but none were positive. In school season is starting back up again, which means we need to, the county needs to provide early intervention services and preschool services. That remains a struggle. There are still kids on the waiting list for both. Really, the struggle is finding providers with capacity to take on new clients. Also, transportation remains a struggle for getting kids to the services that they need and that the county provides. The cost of transportation is going up 4%. The department will probably be over the target budget number for transportation in 2027. I'm just kind of putting that out there because cost is going up for transportation. So there you go. Said when the next meeting was. 296 is the only resolution. So if there are any questions, please let me know.
I got just one. We've all read the article about the homeless. I don't want to, is DSS involved in any of that?
Oh yeah, yeah. They're providing services where they can. We're talking about in the town of Oneonta or
Right.
that are on the land.
23.
Yes. The part of the problem is figuring out who is kind of has oversight on that land because it's owned by the state. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been working daily on that with supervisor there, and it is DOT's land. We pulled some old tax maps, and so DOT is kind of like inventorying. They're about to do something, but they have to do an assessment about what they're going to do before they do it, and so they're
That's
assessing.
the articles I read, kind of sounds like the county should be doing something.
All of our agencies go into all of those campus.
Yes.
There are multiple agencies that go in there. A couple years ago, I talked to Dan Knott with probation. Don't go in with just one person. We want teamwork in there. And they are offered all the assistance that we can give them. Do they accept it? Not always. Therein lies the problem. So part of the issue.
Yeah, my question is about the preschool transportation costs again. Has there been any movement on trying to team up with school districts and create greater efficiencies within that world?
Yes. I would leave it to Avon to give a greater explanation on that. There's also been outreach to other surrounding counties to team up. Oh, there just has not been one response.
But there has been some.
There has been some. Progress is being made, but it is incremental.
And I wanted to add to that they're gonna be requiring pre-K in school districts. They're phasing it in 2 years. So Oneonta is doing it this year. They're phasing it in slowly, but it is gonna probably save the county money, hopefully in the future. So it's cool.
Does that mean they're gonna require transportation from the school district?
From the school districts, yes. Which I have no idea how this is gonna all shake out for us, but
Part of the, yeah, part of is that there's been a subset of kids who have required specialized transportation, and that's
okay.
the tricky.
What
The
kind of
subset
specialized-
of very
I mean,
expensive.
is it disability?
Yeah.
Physical?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So trying to figure out how to get,
you know, you would think one of the transportation companies would,
so they are using a transportation. The problem is our county is very large, and trying to get everybody where they need to go when they need to go there is expensive.
no, I know it's expensive, but where there's money, there's usually somebody willing to step up.
That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah.
They kind of know they need it and the cost. I think that I added $1 million.
Well, we had to, was it, what, year before last, we had to come up with $1.5 million
Yes,
out of thin air. Remember that?
yes.
And from what the sound of it, not a lot has changed. Still paying it. And nobody is trying to help on the economies of scale with that specific subset of children who need special rides to where they're going. NISAC has tried advocating at the state level to really no avail. So nothing has really changed.
Any other questions? Thank you. Public Safety Legal Affairs, Representative Wilbur.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We met on July 16th in this room, and we will be meeting for the August meeting on August 13th at 1 p.m. First department on the agenda was the District Attorney's Office, and Acting District Attorney Dodonna requested approval for one of his employees to drive a county vehicle home. And it is a justified request because of the use of that individual, and we approved that. Next up on the list, Mr. O'Brien was up with the 911 director requested approval to move forward with a complete telephone system upgrade in the 911 center. That's being covered by the 911 grant that was approved. He also requested approval to move forward with a Cisco upgrade, and that's also being covered by 911 grant, and that is also in your packet today. Mr. O'Brien had a discussion with the committee about EMS billing and collections. Requested approval to draft an RFP for collections agency to handle collections for those deemed. We have a process to determine whether somebody is eligible or able to pay a bill or not. And if they are able to pay it, then they would be sent to collections. They don't pay it. So that was approved. That's also, I believe, in the package today. Committee, I spoke about the an email I had sent out to try to move forward the assessment of the land that we just saw today, the presentation on, in the amount of 400,000. We have since moved on to we're gonna put out an RFP for that. And Mr. Wilson said he'll have that RFP ready for the PSLA meeting on August 13th. Is that correct?
Actually, to Public Works,
Or Public Works, my apologies, Public Works, August 13th.
but obviously everyone's gonna want to take a look at.
Right, yeah. So found the way forward on that. Representative Berlant, requested information on whether we'll be in compliance with the 287 B agreements and the state law. I said I would follow up on that. I did. We'll be in compliance by that time. We also went into executive session for public defender, and that was came out of executive session. And I would also like to take a moment to mention that the induction ceremonies went well. There were no issues. I would like to personally thank our emergency services, Victor Jones and Damon West, for the excellent job that they did. The support from our E911, the ambulance, the sheriff's office, and police agencies, and the tons of volunteers, particularly medical volunteers that it took to run it. They all stepped up and did an excellent job. And I'd also like to thank our involved city for that. Any questions?
I just had a question. I know you won't be able to answer this question. I'm just gonna ask it. I wanted to go back to the June 10th post that the sheriff made on Otsego County Sheriff's Department page. And if you remember back to that post, he had said maintaining public confidence is critical, so I will formally request an independent review to ensure complete transparency and accountability moving forward. I've asked Oneida County Sheriff Rob Massiel to begin that process immediately. And I just wanted to, for us and for PSLA, we obviously, that was put out there, but there's never been a formal update, anything on the record.
Was done though, I believe. It was a review. I'm not sure the total content of that review, but it is in litigation, so I can't talk about it here, but I'll see what.
Yeah, so I think that, for our constituents, it's a loose end that's hanging out there.
There was a review.
And so I think, we would like to, I think for any of us, but for me, for my district, I'd like to, be able to say, here's what happened and, and.
Well, I don't know.
Well, whatever.
It's still a case, so. I'm
Whatever
not a legal expert, so I
Yeah,
don't
whatever
know
we
how
can.
much of it can divulge when and if I know it. So I know there was a review done.
Right.
I know there was a report that came back. And I'm sure it'll be used in the case, so, I don't know.
But just to clarify, the review, we're the implication of this particular statement was that it was a third party review of our jail, of our overall operations.
Oh.
That's okay. I just wanted to clarify. So this review was not the overall jail, it wasn't our operations. It was much more limited in scope, but what scope it was, we can't speak to the detail.
Not at this time.
Okay, perfect.
Partly because I don't have total knowledge of it.
Right.
And partly because what knowledge I do have. It's still part of a legal.
Right. Okay, absolutely. I think I think it was just, I wanted to be clear, it wasn't a broad scope.
It was
very narrow and specific.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, all right. So I think that's helpful. It's helpful to my constituents. It's helpful, I think for all of us to just have that understanding. So, great.
So, can I ask a follow-up on that? And I know, Andrew, you had also brought up the potential for violation of our social media policies. Like, where did we land on any of that? And
That's not my committee.
right, no, I understand. I'm just I think we're and I think we're gonna talk about this more maybe when we get to admin and are talking about policy reviews and, but there seems to be like a disconnect between the policies we have and then making sure those policies are adhered to, and then who enforces that. And I mean, I'm still getting questions about, was that okay to use an official social media channel for something political? I think the answer is no. But then what do we do about it?
Yeah, I mean, for those of us who have had the PRGS committee meeting, I feel like that kind of gets into our discussion at PRGS, so.
Yeah.
And maybe
Okay.
we can just wait to,
Sure.
when I do the quick recap of that, and obviously Representative Wilbur was there for that discussion as well, and I, for PRGS, you were there, weren't you? Yeah, you were there.
Oh, yeah, was it?
Yeah, no, you were there.
Remember that discussion?
For all the policies, the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're
They're
gonna
very
do the
convincing job.
recap on
Okay.
that, yeah.
Okay.
But
I didn't
I would say the social media policy is,
Okay.
I defer to the county attorney on that, but I think it's on the list for us to address.
Great.
So,
Thank you.
On the 287G, the sheriff forwarded to me, on acknowledgement from ICE, the request for termination has been routed for processing, and I just got that yesterday.
Right.
So, all right, so
Thank you for that
we
update.
won't be in compliance. So, thank you. Any other questions? Solid waste environmental concerns, Representative Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met on July 16th at 11, with meeting on August 13th at 11, I believe. We talked about the new volunteer transfer station. We took the steps to get that started. I think there was a problem getting contract signed, and I believe they're signed as of today, I think. That
They showed up on my desk yesterday, and I gave them the Kyle this morning. Yes.
okay, thank you. So we should be getting started pretty quick. We talked about the financing of it. That's being taken care of. Kyle gave his recycling MSW report. The numbers are right there for you to look at. And we've had a discussion over recycling, and people can pick through the recycling or pick through anything down there, and we're looking into that. It's, we're not sure if it's a set policy, but there's a liability, and we talked about things that are usable can be taken to the reuse center instead of dropped off there. Representative Kennedy gave her report, soil and water. We did spend $125,000 to Pittsfield, their salt shed, which looks very nice, I must say. It's quite an addition to the town barns over there in Pittsfield. And that they'll be getting the rest of their money as soon as the state gets to it. Household Hazardous Waste Day is August 14th and August 15th. So please, if you got anything you want to take there, make sure you get an appointment down there. Then we discussed the 1-year moratorium on data centers, and Tammy said she'll be giving reports to the county board in September, October, and then we can revisit that to do what we want to do. We also talked about battery energy storage facilities and decided they should remain separate issues. Any questions? I will try to answer them.
Any questions for Rich? Sure. You must have done a good job, Jim. Thank you. Administration, Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Chair Frazier. The Administration Committee met on July 23rd at 9 a.m. and our next meeting will be August 20th at 9 a.m. here in this room. We had community services request to amend a resolution, and then we did have a discussion on coverage under workers' comp, which was more complicated, and they currently do not, it is not authorized, but we did talk about it, and we'll be talking about what needs to be done in the future if we do decide to accept those kinds of claims or treatments with that reimbursement. Social services, we had a budget transfer, and we did discuss a a resolution that NISAC had sent the kind of template language to us with regards to the federal SNAP administrative and benefit cost shifts that are going to be coming our way. And we did discuss what exactly the resolution was asking for. And after a little bit of discussion, we did not take action, but we're redrafting the language in the resolution to reflect the priorities and concerns of the county. So hopefully we'll be looking at that again on the 20th and coming up with a document that we would like to endorse, just to let the federal government know that there's definitely some pain associated with these cost shifts into the counties, and what, maybe if we could change the timeline and when they hit us, it would be helpful. So more to come on that. The Department of Health, we did appoint officially, did this again, but I think we'd already done it, right? That Heidi Bond is the administrator for the county cemetery, which we're able to use, and Heidi will be the administrator. For highway, we went over already the purchases and the easements that were discussed, and that was also approved to admin. The district attorney had the request for the person to be added to a list of county positions authorized to drive a county vehicle, so we approved that as well. And we talked about the Otsego now and the reshifting of the loan, on getting someone into that spot. So again,
Oils was present too, right? They had.
oh, that's right. Yes,
Yeah.
we did have Kara she was from Delaware County. Nora from the New York State.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oils, yeah.
So she was able to provide very good information to us as well. So it was a good discussion. And at the end of that, we did motion to approve a local law for a residency waiver for that managing attorney position. And that was also revisited at Public Safety Committee this morning. So we will be introducing that hopefully a little bit later today in our meeting. County attorney was next, and she presented the revisions to the policy and procedures for use for county-owned facilities, which we approved. And then we had a discussion of the draft purchasing policy, which is going to be further worked on, as well as the credit card policy, which is also under more revision. Discussion will follow at our next meeting. What we did do was, we're told that as of the administration committee, that all credit card thresholds were reset to the $1,500 limit, including the ones that are excluded: IT, veterans, highway, and the treasurer. So further discussion on purchasing and credit cards to come. So talking about that again. County treasurer updated us that the county auction is postponed till September 30th. So we have lower than 57 properties going into the auction this year. We changed our contract with Tyler Technologies to reflect higher contract costs, and the time and attendance implementation will start in January. We also talked about a Tyler Technology 2-year self-service contract. So we'll be talking about that more going forward. And Alan Barnes presented the compliance. He is our compliance officer, so we have federal money, so we're required to have a compliance officer. And he presented a discipline and enforcement of compliance standards policy, which we approved, and a conflict compliance education and training policy, and a conflict of interest policy, all which we did. We will be putting out an RFP to
maintain, to revisit our compliance consultant. So that will be coming out. Information, we approved purchase of new computers and discussed a way to maybe work on reducing our hardware costs with IT to not have redundant machines for the same person. So more to come on that. Then we did have a discussion with regards to the Public Works Committee's $400,000 request. And at the end of discussion, we moved to approve to authorize an RFP to do a complete site work plan analysis and layout and move forward on that track with a complete understanding of that property, which after our review this morning makes it seem like there's a lot there and a lot of infrastructure. There are a lot of assets, and we certainly want to take a informed path forward. So I appreciated all of the discussion that we had on that and look forward to what comes next. If anyone has any questions.
So you said you'll have that ready for Public Works on August 13th?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
On the draft.
maybe it was the day before, but.
I will.
Morning on.
I have a question from.
Yeah, so I just wanna raise something I think we've all been sort of talking about a little bit via email, but in terms of as we're thinking about new mechanisms to enforce policies and revamp some of those policies, I think there are two things that are top of mind for me. First is making sure we have a clear, and it looks like we're improving this, but like a clear enforcement mechanism and who is responsible for that. But also I am concerned about the lack of adherence to the existing policies and what we are going to do now to try and resolve some of the outstanding issues that exist, like missing receipts for credit card purchases. And who is going to, I want to say, demand those, because they were supposed to be provided with the appropriate documentation, and give a timeline for that. And what is the repercussion if that fails to happen? Because it seems to me like some of those credit cards should have already been canceled some time ago because of failure to adhere to policy. So it's great that we are moving forward, and I am looking forward to seeing what that looks like. But I don't think we can just be like, oh, well, it didn't happen before. I think we actually have to take steps to resolve mistakes that were made and errors that happened, and have a clear body agency person responsible for doing that. And then a clear repercussion if it fails to happen.
So my opinion is some of this is a legal issue that I don't feel qualified to answer. In that, for example, electeds, I don't have the authority to say, hey, you have to give me this. That requires a subpoena.
We do have a policy, and if we're talking about the credit cards, we do have a credit card policy.
So I get that.
Which allows the board to grant authority to different departments to have
Right.
use of that. So the board can rescind or take the credit card.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, which perhaps we should at this point, because of the multiple violations of the credit card policy.
My personal opinion is that when you issue a credit card, it should be to a specific person. And then that person is responsible for adhering to that policy.
And that happened, right? They were issued Now, did they stay with that person they were issued to? I don't know.
If I could just interrupt, they're not, so how,
they're not.
the policy identifies or it lays out that that's what's going to happen, that each person is going to be given one. However, the practice has not been that.
Understood.
In our policy, it doesn't, precisely say who should be the insurer. That's the enforcement of it. Who should be pulling it back, all right? That needs to change, all right? So that's a hole that was in our policy that will be developed as to who should be the maintainer of that. Going back and attempting to collect receipts on stuff that's already been paid, I think might not be the best use of time.
I disagree.
There is other parts looking into those charges.
I strongly disagree. This is
Well,
taxpayer
that's-
money that's being spent. And we have no documentation to show what that taxpayer money is being spent on. I could not disagree more. I think we owe it to the taxpayers to enforce our own policy. And I believe that those credit cards that are lacking documentation should be canceled until such documentation is provided. I think it is a simple,
I
I
agree with you, but I would do it a little differently. I would say you have X amount of time
I'm fine with that.
to provide documentation for these expenses. If you don't within that time frame, we're gonna cancel that card.
I am perfectly comfortable with that, and that is what our policy
That is in the
says.
policy.
Yes, so let
That
us
is in the policy.
enforce the
The
policy.
enforcement of it is what didn't occur.
So let us now enforce the
So,
policy.
I fully agree with that.
So
So,
let's give those people for whom we have not seen the documentation, and somebody needs to identify that, and I believe that either the auditor or the treasurer needs to do that. Let us have them identify, send a request with a time frame and a repercussion.
Actually, you just, I think, identified. And I hate to say this, it's an auditing issue. But on the other side of the coin, Carol does not have that kind of resource, I don't believe.
so
So
these
we gotta figure
cards,
this out.
these cards are issued to departments.
Right.
To me, it's a department head. All right? It should not come to her office till the department head signs off on the thing.
And that's
All
what
right?
our
It's not up
policy
to her to
says.
collect the receipts. It's the
Correct.
department
I agree
head.
with that. Absolutely.
Department heads have to say, yes, because my name's on it as a department head. My name's on it. I'm authorizing that Carol pay this thing and I'm providing the receipts.
Okay, so let us
That's-
give that the department head for the department that has failed to provide the receipts, a 30-day window to provide the receipts, or all of the credit cards for that department will be canceled, period.
And at our committee meetings, where we are given documentation from the treasurer, these are the credit card receipts. We are
Not the
supposed to,
receipts,
we
we
are
see the
supposed to be,
charges.
we are supposed to be asking the department head, what was your credit card expenses this month?
Yeah, except that our
We-
department, this
we
department
have a
head hasn't
board-
shown
we
up
as
for
a
2
board-
months.
We as a board have not been following up on that.
This department head has not shown up at a meeting for 2 months. There is no opportunity to ask, and the credit card, what we get from the treasurer, not the receipts, we get the charges.
Yeah.
Correct.
We have no way of knowing if there are associated receipts. I only know this because I asked the treasurer to show me the receipts, and many of them did not exist in the system. Now, they should exist somewhere. Some of them are places where you could get receipts issued online. I believe at this point, it is incumbent on this board to adhere to our own policy and enforce our own policy and have the auditor or the treasurer, somebody identify the missing receipts and send that department head a notification that we're giving 30 days to provide the missing receipts, and failure to do so will result in the revocation of the credit cards for that department. We have a policy, we need to enforce it.
Any other discussion on this today?
No.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Any other questions?
Sir,
That's not a question, it's sort of statement about transportation for the kids and all that stuff that we, county has to partake in as well. Because when I went to school, I rode the school bus back and forth. When my kids went to school, I rode the school bus back and forth. Now I have a grandson and he expects to be picked up from school by a personal chauffeur every day. And the number of kids I see that get dropped off and picked up by their parents. And meanwhile, the school buses are going up and down the roads empty and are very close to empty. And the other concern I have is the amount of time that they expect kids to be on these buses sometimes. They gotta be trucked from here to there. They gotta, a 2-hour trip here and a 2-hour trip home. It's, I don't think that's doing them any good. I don't know if you can move the services around to the children easier than you can truck these kids around. But I know it's a hard problem.
And also, we're not talking about the general school going population.
I know, but you talk about the amount of money you're spending on transportation. You watch these buses run down the road empty, and I think, holy mackerel. It's true. That's a pile of money.
I don't disagree. And sometimes like even within the same family, there's one kid taking the school bus and then the one kid needing special transportation. It's a mix, but the kids that we're talking about are the ones that were legally obligated
I get it.
to transport.
Yeah, I get it.
any other questions for the chair or comment? Hearing none. To committees, negotiations, Representative McCarty.
We have nothing.
And it was awesome.
It's been quiet, thank God.
Thank you, sir. Performance review and goal setting, Representative Marietta, Technology and Strategic Planning, Representative Marietta.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman Fraser. One quick thing, Representing McCarty, planning was watching and, they said the Sure Catch site in Rochelle Springs is included in the inventory.
Very good.
There's a speedy answer for you.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you, Tammy.
Everyone should have printout. We're just going to talk about technology and strategic planning mini meeting first, and everyone should have a copy of a slide that were put together by the county admin office for us that we reviewed, and then these have been further updated for all of us. And first of all, I think thank you to the county administrators, staff for all their work on helping really bring this information in a very refined manner and to make the discussion fairly easy for us at TSP and then helping us kind of move this forward. I think that the focus of our committee meeting was to look at our strategic plan, priority outcomes and essential activities that are represented in our Otsego County strategic plan that's all available through Clear Plan, our online platform. What we had in there was kind of a placeholder, not that it didn't have relevancy, but something that we wanted to come back to and update. And so what you'll see here is some helpful slides that the county admin put together for us that talk about kind of our overall role as a board. And I think they put some good defining information here about our role focusing on county law and municipal home rule law, and then basically our authority and our policy and budget, our policy body and budget authority and what that means. And then these key areas that we're focused on: legislation, policymaking, budgeting, oversight. And then what you'll see here is our current priority outcomes as defined in Clear Plan, as well as the related essential activities. And then if you move to page 4, this is where you'll see, actually page 5, you'll see the revised priority outcomes that we discussed at TSP and that we're now bringing forward to to the rest of the board for consideration and hopefully approval. And what you'll see, I'll just kind of read through the 5 very quickly, and then I'll not read all the essential activity related essential activities, but the new 5 revised priority outcomes are pass local laws and pass local laws and create policies that serve the interests of Otsego County and its residents, strengthen the board's capacity for proactive long-term planning and policymaking, support continuous gains in administrative efficiency and effectiveness by reducing administrative burden and increasing department heads' ability to manage emerging problems, ensure fiscal sustainability and responsible governance by integrating program planning, budgeting, and evaluation, ensure effective oversight of all county departments for compliance with all laws and regulations, effective internal control, and timely and effective risk management. So we have these 5 revised priority outcomes, and then in the additional following pages, you'll see the revised essential activities that go with each of these priority outcomes, and then a breakout of some potential ways that we can measure the progress or and any kind of activity that we're carrying out related to those essential activities. So I think it's much more robust. It's something that I think there's a lot of potential here, especially in terms of potential ways to measure. We had quite a bit of discussion just around ClearPlan itself and the value of that tool, and really making sure that one of the measurements that we want to focus on is our department heads actually putting their updates into ClearPlan and really helping us track the progress and the impact that we're making, and then thus showing general public the impact of their tax dollars. So I think there's a lot here, but really what we're looking for is the blessing from the board in updating our strategic priority outcomes and our essential activities to reflect what is identified here. And then the potential ways to measure is a follow-up discussion that we hope to have and try to identify a couple of these and not overwhelm ourselves or any supporting staff that are helping us secure some of this information. We want to be very targeted in our measurement areas. But I apologize, we didn't pull this up on the screen, so we're obviously not showing it, but I think maybe this is something we can share later with the public. Can we post this on ClearPlan? I don't even know if this presentation can be made available, Steve.
I'm not sure if it is on ClearPlans, but at the very least, we can put it on the county administrator's website.
Perfect.
Or maybe on the board's main website as a proposed.
Just
thing.
for informational purposes.
Just for information, yeah.
But so I guess the question and for my committee members, I think we also talked about just trying to do a better job in getting out and bringing up the need for quarterly updates amongst our department heads and our various committees. We really want to try to make a push for getting as much information into ClearPlan before year end as possible. But I think that's one message I didn't want to forget to mention. But that said, is there any comments or questions or concerns about us as a board moving forward and making these updates in ClearPlan to replace our priority outcomes with the new revised 5 priority outcomes and then the related essential activities? So there's a lot more detail here than what we currently have.
I think that's acceptable.
All right, so
Thank you.
We will move forward with making those revisions on ClearPlan. And so that I think that's the report for TSP, unless my fellow committee members had anything to mention. Emin, Rick, Bill. We're good? Oh, sorry. Yes.
I would like to send out here an email tomorrow asking departments to update in ClearPlans over the rest of this month what essentially they've accomplished so far in executing their strategic plans for this year. We would normally do that in my office, push that quarterly, and we would get to discuss that with in your committees. A few departments have done that, many haven't. I'd like to give them another chance to go through the end of July, put their accomplishments in. I just want to make sure the board would like to see that endorsed as that.
The only thing I'll caution you is you're also asking them for all their budget information at the same time.
That's right. It'll
They
be
have limited
pretty
resources.
demanding. It will and it won't, because the two are linked in the budget process. But you're absolutely right, Willie, to be gentle about that. I would not expect 100% compliance. But
This, I think that would be able to do what they can do, and we understand, that there's a lot being asked at this point in time, but hopefully once we move through the August 19th, I think is the deadline for decision packages.
yes,
So we're hopefully maybe, once we move past that bigger deadline, that hopefully by the end of September, you could see as whatever they can dedicate to making some updates for it. Clear plan.
I can update folks. Departments have proposed, I believe, 151 decision packages. Already, they did that as of, I believe, last Wednesday. We had very good support and engagement from them. And now we are reviewing that in a kind of QA/QC process. So the heavy lift has been done, basically. And
What is a QA/QC?
oh, I'm sorry, quality control. Make sure the numbers all add up, that kind of thing.
Quality assurance, quality control.
There we go. I was trying
Sorry.
to figure out what the actual letters stood for. Thank you.
So I think we're done with TSP. So just very briefly, PRGS, we Representative Berland had just raised the bigger picture of some policy work that's ongoing, but at PRGS, we invited Isaiah from Director of IT Services to just talk about our internal intranet. Some updates have been made to that. Kind of a new version was launched. Personnel was also involved in giving some feedback and trying to integrate some more employee information, training, different resources, and that's still a work in progress. But what we had talked about at PRGS is that as board members, we actually don't see that intranet. We don't have access to that kind of internal landing platform for our employees. So this is, for many of us, this is the first time actually seeing it. So it was enlightening to see that and see the work that's undergone. But also, we learned that there's a policy and procedure section where there are many, many, many policies that we haven't reviewed necessarily, or don't even have a full comprehensive list of what is living there right now. And so we had a discussion with personnel and IT about, are all these necessary? At one point, they were in process of being reviewed, but that effort kind of took back burner. And so I think the idea is for us to, as committee chairs, definitely to talk to our department heads, get a better handle of what's there. Are these policies all necessary? What ones do need to be reviewed? And then also, just try to hopefully simplify, something or some of this information that's kind of hanging out there. It seems very lengthy. And so that was a big topic of discussion, and goes back to some of this discussion about the social media policy, which is something, that more recently we I think have learned that maybe there's some more revisions or additions that need to be made to that policy, but there's a lot of other policies that we should take a look at as well. So that I think we'll keep, so PRGS, I think we'll try to move forward with trying to collect that information and then working with IT and then make that kind of distribute that in a more manageable fashion so we can start have some follow-up discussion. And then, of course, our other piece of business was going to executive session to review the outstanding employee award nominees and making that selection.
Thank you. Any questions for?
I just have a quick question. Is there any policy involving strategic planning at all? Just going back to kind of holding people accountable for doing goal setting or work. Is there any policies that we know?
I think our new essential activity, our new priority outcomes and essential activities, we I think need to make sure that's identified in those elements that are going to be there. Yeah, absolutely. No, there's not a specific written policy. I'd like to try to stay away from adding another policy.
Sure.
But I'm hoping our priority outcomes and essential activities can address that. So, and now's the time to give your input on that.
We just have a policy for running under policy.
Right.
Policy to review the policy.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oh, no, not another policy.
Policy to identify filling gaps.
If I could just say, for what it's worth, compared to many other counties our size and larger, we have an extraordinary number of policies.
It's really good.
That have developed over the years, some of which may not be entirely relevant. So department heads are slowly working through all of those. I think Andrew and Adrian are still involved in the sort of work group. Or at least their names are still attached to some of the emails. So, sorry about that. You might want to eliminate those. But we have a lot and they've grown over the years, kind of topsy-turvy.
We, as a committee chair, it would be really nice if I had a list of policies that fell under me.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, we we definitely will get that.
Because I don't have a clue.
I think mostly they live under admin. Happy to let you know
Well,
that.
all right, but do you have a list?
No, I don't, but have a.
Go ahead and recite them.
Oh, I don't. Your
Start
point.
backwards.
I mean, you're saying extraordinary number of policies like it's a bad thing.
Is it really necessary? Yeah.
Said it was extraordinary.
In a good way or not?
Any other comments today? Hearing none. Do any of our representatives have any reports of other boards, advisory boards, committees you'd like to share tonight? I had one. I was recently asked to join the Regional Innovation Council. The interesting thing was they asked me to join as a businessman, not as a county legislator. And I said, well, how do I split that hat? But anyways, I'd give it a shot. We met the other day. I got asked half a dozen questions on the county side, but anyways, they are going to be meeting and having, I think some of you may remember a couple years ago, there was a symposium at the Oneonta State on housing. And they're the ones that put that on. They're going to do another one this coming fall, late October, I believe, on economic development and how housing may tie to that. You'll all be getting information on that. So, I think that was it. That was all on economic development and how they can network and potentially bring some of the municipalities together to help develop more housing. So, anyone else? Hearing none. County Administrator's report.
I have an abbreviated report for obvious reasons, but as I mentioned, the budget process is well underway. I have provided you all a one pager about how it works. We develop targets for departments based on available revenues. Those targets are for their base program, and then we made available or asked them to prepare decision packages for any priorities beyond that base program. And as I mentioned, there's about 151 of them as of the latest count. However, I want to make sure everyone knows that the budget gap that we faced last year is, we are probably going to face something of similar magnitude this year. And by telling folks at the beginning of the budget process what the revenues are and how that will drive expenditures, I think was shocking, disturbing, and at the very least stressful for many of our department heads. So I think they've gotten through most of it with a lot of help from our budget analysts. The smaller departments in particular, I think, struggled with all this, simply knowing, what to do. The good news in all of this is there appears to be no need for anything extraordinary like layoffs. That doesn't mean there won't be difficult decisions that you all will face, but hopefully between the work of the department heads and our budget team, we will provide you in advance with the materials that you need to make these difficult decisions, which for those of you who maybe weren't here last year, the rubber meets the road, so to speak, in the first part of October when we have the parent committee. Hopefully the one pager was helpful. And I've just shared that with department heads as well. Any questions about this? Help with? Yes, sir.
And this sheet you gave us here, you got for 2027 sales tax of 52,000.
Thousand?
52 million.
Oh, thank God.
But isn't that kind of low?
We do projections on a quarterly basis, as does the treasurer. And then we do the budget at 95% of that. Depending on how the economy goes, I do expect the sales tax to go up with further quarterly projections. So that'll be a number that we'll get increasingly clear as we move into October, or September and October. I will point out, you'll see a big difference in the total revenues there from 153, I believe, to 148. That reflects two things in general. One is our estimate that federal revenues will decline.
Right.
It also reflects us proposing to use only $3 million from the fund balance. In 26, we used 6 million. I think the year before we might have used 10, 9. So we're deliberately working that down. So we will eventually be able to afford any sort of capital projects that may come up in the future.
Well, I'm just, when you get this thing from the auditors and sales tax in New York State is up 6% it just makes you wonder why you put 52%, 52 million in there instead of raising that up higher than it was last year.
That's very county specific. That's an average of them all. Sales tax is definitely up. But for the past several years, our sales tax has increased every year, but nowhere near as fast as it used to. The other thing you have to factor in is the impact of inflation and people cutting back on grocery shopping, I don't even know how the tourist season has gone this year. I can't see much in terms of, baseball traffic and stuff like that. Maybe that's down.
Don't try to drive down through town then.
So, okay, well, that may be a good sign. So,
Restaurants are crowded and a lot of people.
I do agree with Keith. I think it seems a little problematic to cut sales tax revenue by 2 million. So I don't think right here's the time to have that conversation. So.
I think it's gonna be adjusted, like you said, it'll be
Yeah,
adjusted up, we'll get another report.
and it,
So,
Yeah.
so in our letter about the SNAP, and the federal funding, to me, what is upsetting me about it, fine, the feds will do whatever they want, state will do whatever they want. But the state sent $4 billion down to New York City. NICEAC is saying that the SNAP, shift in costs is gonna cost the counties in New York City 168 million. Seems to me if the state could afford to send 4 billion to New York City to help their budget, they could possibly cover the 168 million to help out every county in this state. That's where I am at. I don't think they've done anything to help the counties overcome the federal cuts.
Well, the votes are up here.
But that's my opinion, opining on that. So and we are anticipating a $5 million cut in federal funding. So, sir. Yes.
can I make just one other thing? Forgive me, Keith, I finally saw the numbers that you were talking about. The 54 versus 52 million in sales tax. My apologies. The 52 million, like I said, is at the beginning of the process. We fully expect it to go up as it did last year to the 54.
Well, I think that's where we started last year. When we
Um,
started the budget thing.
Yeah, so we're just doing this way earlier, doing revenue estimates way earlier to help departments with the difficult spending decisions they have to make.
Okay. I'm done.
Sorry.
Any other questions for the administrator today? Hearing none. Are there any special reports? No special reports. Here. I need a motion to dispense with the reading of all reports and resolutions.
I move that we dispense.
I'll second.
Second, thank you. Is there any representative wishing to remove sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Is there any representative wishing to remove a resolution from the consent agenda? Hearing none.
It's on the regular agenda. It's on the agenda.
Call for action on the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Frazier,
Aye.
Powers,
Aye.
Brockway,
Aye.
Inchi,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Nickel,
Aye.
Barliant,
Aye.
Marietta,
Yeah.
McCarty,
Aye.
Mendez, absent, Martini,
Aye.
Clapperton,
Aye.
Castillo, absent.
Consent agenda, 88 ayes, no noes, 12 absent, no abstention. Consent agenda passed.
Resolution 306 approving, excuse me, approving the purchase of real property for the replacement of the bridge located on County Route 20 in the town of Edmondson, McCarty, Wilbur, Brockway, Hinchey, Powers.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to amend that resolution by request of the highway superintendent. Every place that it says, bridge, it needs to be changed to culvert. It's 4 of them. in the title and then in the first whereas, the second whereas, and the third whereas.
Mhm.
You need a second?
Second, oh, I can't, sorry.
Second,
I can't. So,
I'm pretty sure I can. Mhm.
we have a motion and a second. The amendment, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Amendment carries. Motion to move the amended resolution forward.
I move the amended resolution.
Second.
You have a second. Roll call vote?
Frazier,
Aye.
Powers,
Aye.
Brockway,
Aye.
Vinci,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Mickle,
Aye.
Ferlia,
Aye.
Marietta, McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Mendez. Absent, Martini, Clapperton,
Aye.
Basile, aye.
Resolution 306 as amended, 88 ayes, no nos, 12 absent, no abstentions. 306 as amended is adopted. If there are no objections, late local law E will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
Mr. Carrick, you need me to bring that to the floor? Or- No, okay.
Local law E of 2026, a local law creating an exception to the residency requirement for assigned council managing attorney in the county of Otsego. Sponsored by the PSLA committee.
A second.
Second. All right, this local law will be held over for a public hearing on 9/2 at 9:50. Do we have any other unfinished business today? Special order of the day. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Needed at least one.